If you've only got 10 minutes this weekend for the garden, there are a few quick wins you can have that are going to make a huge difference for the rest of the year. So grab the garden gloves, the tools and the fertiliser and head to the bulbs. Most of the spring flowering varieties have started to come through the soil, and while these plants have already set their embryo for flowering at the end of last season, what we spread around the garden now will help increase their resistance to disease, depth of colour and ensure there are enough nutrient reserves for developing the flower embryo for next year's flowering. These cyclamens are amazing. Bulb gardening is for the time poor because they're a set and forget sort of plant, and I love that what I do now makes a difference next year. These Nerines are autumn flowering bulbs, so unlike spring bulbs that set their foliage and then flower, Nerines do it opposite way. They flower, the flowers die back and then the foliage comes. So it's just as important to feed them after they've finished flowering as any other bulb. Now these are on a little bit of a lean because they've been grown in too much shade, but you can see you need some in your garden. They're just absolutely fantastic. So there are bulb foods on the market. Instead of reaching for bulb food, grab sea salt, roses and flowers. I'm about the soil when it comes to gardening, and this is going to improve the soil at the same time and make a huge difference. It can even be used in pots, and it's just as important to focus on the soil in pots as in garden beds. In this case, the granular formulation has, in addition to nutrients, concentrated compost, seaweed and organic matter, which only improves the soil so much more, attracts good bugs and worms, and the plants love it. Throw it around. Hopefully rain is forecast and it will save you a few minutes. If not, just water it in. Now there's no risk of burning, so if you don't get to it today, that's okay. Autumn gardening is about setting plants up to tolerate fluctuations in temperature, extreme cold, hail and the wind chill factor. And without getting too technical, the nutrients in this formulation, potassium, magnesium, iron and calcium, will benefit all other garden plants, not just the bulbs. About a handful per square metre, even two is not going to hurt. And if you can find an additional 5 minutes, well, who can't? Always for the garden, there's time. Look for some dwarf kangaroo paws. Now, these are my favourite at the moment. They are fantastic winter and spring and summer colour. Now, I find the hardest thing is deciding where to plant them. Put them either in full sun or part shade. Planting them, well, that's the 5-minute job, and you'll have colour all year round.